Welcome to Winners on a Wednesday. My name's Samuel Leeds and I am absolutely delighted to have the Mandal family on the show. And I'm going to be asking Raj some questions about his property success, but also how he's managed to bring his family on board, and which I just think is absolutely incredible. 2 of the 4 family members are now full-time in property, financially free. So Raj, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
Pleasure to be here, Samuel.
Why don't you start by, when did you start your property journey?
I think it was about 6 months ago, crash course in London.
And there was 4 of you that all kind of said, we're going to do this, grab this opportunity. And out of the 4 of you, how are you doing?
We're doing really well. We haven't kind of gone out there and burnt it. We're taking our time. We're getting all the education through your program, Academy. It's Rick who my eldest started off, Kerry. She wanted to go into property. Rick then didn't really care, but he got a Facebook message from Samuel Leeds, and there he was. He booked a course at the London, and then he took me and my wife Jackie with us, with them, and that's where it all started.
Because the thing is, when you started, I know you as the sort of leader and visionary of the property business within the family, you wanted to get your kids and your family, you wanted to get them all on board, but you also, despite having some money to invest, you told me, Samuel, you say it's possible to do it without using lots of money, so I'm going to start by using strategies like rent-to-rent, deal packaging, and then once we've got some confidence in your teaching, you said to me, then we'll start doing some serious big deals.
Absolutely. I remember your words very well at the first meeting. You said study first for the 6 months, 4 to 6 months, get all the training, get all the education. That's exactly what we did, and we're at a point now where anytime the big door will open, we're already looking at development plots. We're already looking at commercial to residential, and we're thinking of moving forward from rent to rents into bigger deals.
That's brilliant. Because the thing is, when you're risk averse, like you were, to be fair, you want to. I always recommend start just with the training, invest in yourself. Get some small deals. Your first deal is always your hardest deal. See the money coming in, see it working, and then start moving on to bigger and bigger stuff. So what have you achieved then in the last 6 months as a family since you started?
Well, as a family, we've got ourselves set up as a limited company. We wanted to include the whole family because we're a very solid family, and if one was going to share success, we all share the success, and we all wanted to be part of that.
Yeah.
So we set up ourselves as a company, and everybody has a role to play. Ricky is the brand or the face. My eldest daughter Kiri is an actuary, so she's the figures and she does the mathematics. My wife Jackie is the admin, attention to detail on your bank details, on your Vivos, all that sort of thing. And I network and help to search for properties and meet people. So, and my other daughter, because of in between her work, she spends all the time sort of evaluating the prices of houses in areas that we've looked at, the rental in those areas, whether it's viable, not viable, etc.
That's fantastic. So what strategies have you been doing so far?
Well, to get ourselves a bit of experience, we started on the rent-to-rent service accommodation, and Rick managed to source two flats in the centre of Milton Keynes. And they're doing very well. Our sort of average occupancy is around about the 72-73%. So that's given us a good return from both of those.
So how much cash flow are you making?
On a good month, we can make up to 1.8 from those.
That's great.
Each one.
Oh, so you're making about, what about on an average month between the 2 of them?
You're probably looking at around about maybe just over 1,000.
So you're making a good £2,000 to £3,000 per month. And then also you've been doing deal packaging?
Yeah, Ricky, we again invested a little bit in Ricky for deal sourcing with Alistair, and he's done very well. He has these, I think you recommended one of those away days, spend the whole day.
Yeah.
So he's been to Stoke all day, he's been to Doncaster, and he's planning something for next week on a Wednesday.
And has he started making money doing that?
He's passed over, I think it's 2 or 3 deals. He's waiting to hear from them, whether they're going to go through or not. It was only sort of a couple of weeks ago that he managed to do that.
Great.
So we're waiting on that. He's also setting himself up as well as a deal sourcer. So we got him compliant. and hopefully once he's got through the training program, he'll then be able to get his list done and move on.
Fantastic. So have you learnt a lot so far?
Absolutely. I think it has taught us a lot. We're more confident. We know how to approach people and how to negotiate. Whereas before we probably wouldn't have done. We would have gone head first. More than likely, we probably invested in the wrong thing and got burnt.
Yep.
But now we're a bit more cautious, careful, and we do all the due diligence before we actually go ahead and put an offer in. Having said that, we put offers in. They don't always get accepted. Then it's a case of, do we want it bad enough to go back, or shall we just move on?
Yeah.
Because and you've also mentioned that in your training. If one doesn't work, there's thousands others that you could get. So we move on. We don't actually haggle with people about. We work out, maths out, and Kiri says that's the bottom line. That's all you can offer. And if she says that, then we all go with that. And if they don't accept it, they don't. Or if they want us, they've accepted offers, and then a week later they've said, "Oh, we want 20 grand more." So we've said, "No, that's our offer. Take it."
I mean, I've got to know you and your family pretty well. In particular, Ricky, who I've become very close with. You must be really proud of your family.
Absolutely proud of all of them, and we've used Ricky. He's the brand, he's the face, and that's how it's. And none of the family are. They all support him in that. Nobody's got. Why is Ricky doing that? Why aren't I doing it? No, it's all support for him, because as a family we will succeed.
Yes.
And once we succeed, it doesn't matter who puts what effort or what time in. As long as we all succeed, that's what matters.
Would you say that the property has brought you closer together as a family?
It certainly has, yeah, obviously it has, because we have, one of the main reasons is no matter where they are, we've already arranged the next 4 months meetings.
Yeah.
So they all have to be there for that meeting regardless. And that gives us a chance to discuss all the deals, all the mathematics that Kiri's done, any problems with the admin or with the banks or anything like that. So it has brought us closer. The communication is a lot better and a lot stronger. And decision making, I think we've just about nailed that between us.
How have you managed? Because a lot of parents ask me this. They say, Samuel, how can I manage to fire up my kids and to get my kids excited about financial freedom and finance and money and property? Now, some kids just naturally have a fire to do it. I mean, what would you say? What would be your advice to someone who wanted to get their kids into property? How have you managed to do that?
I think with this is my experience with my children is, I can't call them children anymore, my young adults, is I have to be part of, I don't not want to be part of their lives. And so to be part of that, I have to do what they want to do, or I can encourage them to choose the right path to secure their futures.
Yes.
And that's how it is. So if Rick's doing something, whether it be football coaching, whether it be DJing, whether it be property, I've got involved with all of that. Kiri's decision making on her future, we've had a chat, we've discussed everything. So I and Jackie are both part of their upbringing and part of their decision making.
Yeah.
So by doing that, we've got a good bond, and we listen. And that's the other thing is, parents need to listen to what the kids are saying. Sometimes you don't. You tell, "Oh, this is how it's got to be. You've got to move this way, or you'll never make it, or you'll never be good." But that's wrong. I think that's wrong, and I tend to listen to them. And although I have to tell Rick to shut up sometimes, but I listen to them, see what their thoughts are, because what parents sometimes forget very quickly is that they're not 8, 9, 10 anymore. I mean, they're nearly mid-20s, 30s, and they're adults.
What's your background, and why did you choose property?
Well, my father used to be in property, and I think I may have told you this story before, but my father was in property, and he had sort of quite a lot of houses where we were in Doncaster at the time. And but my brother hated it, because we were sort of 13, 14, 15. But and in those days, we didn't have all the stuff done by agents and that sort of thing, so you had to do it all yourself.
Yeah.
So we spent all summers painting, decorating, waiting outside the house for tenants to show them the house till 9 o'clock at night. And it kind of just turned us off property, so we left it for a while. And then I remember going into business, and I said to my father, "What do you think? I want to do this." He said, "The only thing that'll make you money in this world, Raj, is bricks and mortar. So don't waste your time putting money into anything else. Put into that." And at that time, things turned and my circumstances changed, so I forgot it. Then I remember Kiri coming to me and saying, what do you think? I can't work here all the time. So I said, bricks and mortar is what's going to make you the money. So if that's what you want to do independent, put your money into that. And from there, that started a fire in her. She started a fire in Rick, and Rick started a fire in all of us.
That's fantastic. And I mean, the fact that you say the first 6 months you've just really spent learning, but you've still, and you say it as if it's a small thing, like, oh, we've got a couple of rent-to-rents and we've done a couple of packaged a few deals Ricky's done. But the bottom line is, your wife and your daughter are now financially free or full-time in property at least.
Yeah, and even Rick has more time spare now. So Rick and my wife are totally free, and they just 100% on property. My eldest, Kiri, will be the next one.
Yeah, it's incredible. Single-handedly, every member of your family becoming financially free. What's the big why? What's your strongest reason for doing this?
I think from my point of view is obviously to make sure that they're independent and free from work, and they themselves want to be free from work. And I think there's going to come a stage, and I've already heard Rick and Kiri talk about it, there's going to come a stage where they'd like to do what you're doing once they've got to the level of success to help other people and to train other people.
Brilliant.
And they want to give something back when they get to that level.
It's like a rippling effect.
Yeah.
And I remember when we first chatted and we talked about the vision of having you guys all flying out to India.
Yeah, that's still
being
on.
Financially free. We're on track.
We are on track. We've got 6 months to get the other three of us free. And we were actually, funny enough, you mentioned that because a couple of days ago we talked about planning the trip to India at the end of October, because that's our end of year from the academy, and we're hoping to be financially free.
Well, two of you are, three more to go.
In 6 months.
Raj, I'd love to get some of your family members up as well and ask them some questions. So massive congratulations. I'm so pleased to see you guys doing really well. And should we get your son on first? Let's do it.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Thanks. Okay.
Ricky, man, you're awesome, bro. How old are you?
I'm 26.
26, financially free almost.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you do with your time now?
So every day I've got like an agenda that I do every day, and I kind of set my weeks out. I structure my week, so I set, as you call it, the big day. I do that every Wednesday. So I know I'm going to put in the offers on a Friday. So Wednesday is a big viewing day. Thursday I'm doing all the number crunching and due diligence, running over with my family. Friday's like offer day, if you like, putting in the offers, ready for the weekend to, get them to come back to me. Monday I work with Alistair on his mentor course, mentorship, and package, and he helps me with that on a Monday. Then Tuesday it's all about ringing agents again and going over what I've done for the week.
Great. So this is life of a full-time property investor.
Yeah.
Right there, just summed up.
Yeah.
So you've done like a couple rent to essays.
Yeah.
And your dad mentioned them. You're also doing deal packaging.
Yeah.
How many deals have you sold in the last 6 weeks?
Last 6 weeks, we've sold 2. And we've got a few more that are kind of going through at the minute.
Okay.
But we don't like to, just to be like kind of respectful, and we want to be a credible company. We don't call it done until it's all finished.
You don't spend the money until you have the keys.
Yeah.
I got you. But you've got quite a few in the bag that are going through.
Of course.
That's great. And how much money on average, like the 2 that you did sell, how much money did you get for those?
It was around about $5,000 for both of them.
So 2.5 each?
Yeah, they went to the same person. Because they went to the same person, they bought 2. We said we negotiated a bit, and we done it for $5,000 for both of them.
That's cool. What do you think? Do you see yourself right now as like, OMG, I'm pinching myself, isn't it amazing? Or do you think, I've hardly done anything actually, I'm just getting started? Or is it somewhere in between?
I'll be honest with you, I think there's so much more that we can do with this, which we know we can do, that we've learned from the academy. At the minute, we're just getting started.
Because there's a lot of people right now, 26-year-olds, that would see your life and think, oh my goodness, that's the dream. Like, you do a bit of mentoring on a Monday, on a Tuesday you go and view houses, then you sell them, and it's like you're making good money. You've just made £5,000 in the last 6 weeks, plus from your rent to rents, you're working with your family. Like, that is the dream for many people.
Yeah, I think for many people it is the dream, and I'm always grateful for having a supportive family, for us kind of being introduced to the crash course and the program that you guys run with the academy. I'm always grateful for that, but at the same time I do think there's so much more to achieve in life. You know, we've got all the strategies that we want to work on, like development, but not just with the property and, you know, the money side of things. It's about spending time together as a family and also being able to give back. You know, I heard my dad say earlier, which is what, you know, definitely I want to get into, is I've created such a good relationship with you, Alistair, Russell and the academy guys, and it's kind of like a little family that in the future I definitely want to educate myself, get experience, and then help you guys give back as well, because I believe so much in it. You know, I really do.
Yeah, you've seen how we've helped change your life, and people within your family, and you want to pass that on.
Yeah,
that's fantastic, man. So what's been the biggest struggles? Because, you know, you started 6 months ago, you're doing really well, but have there been days when you thought, this is just so hard, I want to give up? Has that happened?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so talk to me.
I had a spreadsheet when I was looking for the first rent service accommodation. I had a spreadsheet, and I'd colour code it. So I'd type in the agents that I'd called, and if they said no, I'd colour code it red, so I know they've said no. And then I'd do a yellow if they were like, I'll give you a call back if we have anything. And then green was if they do have some stuff or they do corporate lets, and I'd know to make sure I follow up with them. So I had that spreadsheet, I'd put the date, I'd ring them, and I'd just follow up with them every month if they were yellow or green. And I think I rang, it was 162 or 161 agents before I got the first one. Yeah, and
wow.
you know, after like 10 phone calls, I remember after 10 phone calls, I was sat in Costa, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to stop. And then I thought to myself, like, remember what you guys said, just keep going for no, go for no. And then it was funny because when I got the first one after 161 calls, the second one that we got, it came the same day. So we rang one, he said, look, I rang an agent, he said, we've got this apartment, they're happy to do corporate lets, so that was all good. So we arranged a viewing, then literally the same phone call the next phone call after, the agent said exactly the same, and he said, do you want to come and view it tonight? And then we viewed it, I remember me and my dad went that day, we viewed it, we paid the you know, £300 that they want before to take it off the market, we paid that straight after the viewing, and it was like, and just like that.
So 160 agents said no.
Yeah.
Before one said yes.
Yeah.
That is either what you were saying on the phone was awful. Probably.
To be fair, it was. The first few were, I don't know, I was learning.
But that's how you get good.
Yeah.
That's how you get good.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that we keep saying go for no. What does go for no mean?
You just got to go. I just love no, man. Whenever someone tells me no, I'm like, this is great because I'm just that much closer to a yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Because most people, they'll make 2 or 3 phone calls, they'll get told no, and then they'll say, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
If you just said, Samuel, I've rang 100 people, I've rang 159 people and they've all said no, it would have been logical to say it doesn't work, but your persistence carried you through.
And you know what's funny? That agent that was the 161st phone call, he sends me apartments that he knows I'm looking for corporate lets, and that you know, allow it, and the head lease and stuff like that allows it. So now every week he sends me at least 2 in that same block that can do it.
Yeah.
And he's just sending to me, and we're going to take on some more probably, but obviously we're looking on to other stuff now. But him just sending them to me, and he knows as well that I can pass them on, so it's like a win-win for everyone.
Well,
so
yeah.
I'm passing them on, we're taking them on ourselves.
A good relationship with an agent is better than a good deal.
Yeah, 100%.
And your first deal is always your hardest deal.
Yeah.
And not only because, like you said, the agent's now passing you lots more. Same with anything. Same with an investor. The first time you sell a deal to an investor, it's hard.
Yeah.
But then, like you just said, your investor bought 2.
Yeah.
And I bet he'll buy another one next month, and then one next month probably, as long as you continue delivering, which you will. Your first is always your hardest. Not only because you're not very good, because when you start, you're not very good, and you have to practice.
Yeah.
But also, I bet some of those 159 agents that said no, I bet it wasn't no, I bet some of them it was not for now.
Oh yeah.
And now they're calling you back probably.
I'd say at least half of them were it's a no for now. We haven't got anything at the minute. But yeah, no, they all still email me stuff. And it's just, it sounds weird, but sometimes it's hard to kind of keep up with when agents are just sending you stuff through that, you know, I spoke to this agent like 6 months ago, and they're sending me stuff through now that, you know, I'm looking at and I'm like, when you know how to source and package deals, this is like a gift.
Yeah.
Like, take that and pass it on, and just, you know, work with everyone, build the good relationships, and everyone's going to win from it.
I know we teach, don't count it as sold until it's completely gone through and everything like that.
Yeah.
But on average, how many per week, per month deals are you selling or agreeing with investors? Like, how's that going?
Yeah, so I'm aiming for at least one a week.
Yeah.
At the minute I'm slowly building my investors list because deal sourcing is not something that I want to do kind of full time. But I'm slowly building up my list. But I aim to put out there and speak to people investor-wise and sell for a month.
Yeah.
That's what I'm aiming for.
But for a month, if you're doing $2,500 each on average, that's £10,000 a month.
Yeah.
Just on passing property deals that you don't want yourself.
Yeah, and if you do a big day, and I book no less than 10 viewings in a day. When I'm going to do that big day on a Wednesday, no less than 10 viewings. Out of that 10, at least one we'll put an offer in on. Yeah. At least one.
Yeah.
You know, normally it's 2 or 3, and then we'll go back. We'll all run the figures, and
you'll
then
put an offer on, or you'll have an offer accepted on one.
No, we'll put I put offers on probably about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And then out of them 5 or 6 offers that get accepted about it's around 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So on a bad week, it's just one will accept it.
All right. So what's been the biggest thing you've learned over the last 6 months of becoming financially free?
The biggest thing I've learned is definitely to make the most out of your time now, so you can reap the rewards in the future. And it's not just money or being able to buy stuff. It's just because we're doing it as a family, spending time as a family. Like, you can't put a price on that.
Yeah.
And you can't really do that if you work a busy job that you have to go to every day.
What's the end goal?
The end goal is to be able to have a massive business property portfolio that will just go down for generations and generations, and we leave a legacy, not just of the property, but teaching, helping with the academy and stuff.
Yeah.
Not helping with your brand, because obviously you don't need help, but we want to be able to give back to you for giving us an opportunity to be involved with the academy.
I really appreciate that. And your money, or you'll leave a legacy with your money, but more than anything, who you are will be a legacy.
Yeah.
Who you are, because I think you're an incredible person.
Thanks.
And, your heart and your action. I always say, if you learn and then implement with the right belief, you cannot fail.
Yeah.
And that's, you're an example of that. You've got the skills and you've just absolutely gone for it. Despite the rejection, you've gone for it. You've had belief and you've succeeded, which is just absolutely fantastic. All right, top tip then for someone who is wanting to become financially free in their 20s, just starting out.
Just take the bungee jump and just don't even think about it. Just go for whatever you want to go for. 100% get the right education first, because without the right education, if we didn't have the education, then I don't know where we'd be.
Well, there's nothing more dangerous than an uneducated idiot.
Yeah.
Especially if they're an action taker.
Yeah.
If you're an idiot who doesn't take action, then nothing will happen.
Yeah.
But if you're an idiot and you're uneducated and you take action, then you could potentially cause all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
So it's good that you got the education.
I would say educate yourself, and as you say, do the bungee jump.
Yeah.
Like just take the jump with the right knowledge and the help that you can get. You're gonna be successful from it. You might have knockdowns, but you're gonna be successful if you want it bad enough.
Yeah.
But you have to know what you're doing, otherwise you could end up in trouble.
Yeah.
And no one wants to.
Especially with things like service accommodation and rent to rents. You got to understand the rules.
It's funny you say that. Actually, we as soon as we started the academy, and we hadn't had the rent to SA day yet. We actually got a service accommodation rent to SA, but because we hadn't been on the rent to SA day, we hadn't got any experience in it or anything. We just took it because we spoke to a few people about it. And it's funny you say that, because that rent to SA now, we just pulled out of the contract a few weeks ago, because now we've had the day and the training, we know what we're looking for, and that's something that was going to lose us money.
Yeah.
So we managed to pull out of it, but we realise now, that was going to cost us, I think it was $1,200 a month for the rent. But it wasn't going to work. But we did it before we went on to the training day, and it's an example of being educated.
Did you find that, or did you buy it from a deal sourcer?
No, well, I found that one.
Because the worrying thing is, there's a lot of deal packages out there that find bad rent to SAs that don't work and then try and flog them to uneducated people.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It is scary, because I think a lot of times people think, if you're buying a house, then obviously that's a lot more risky and scarier than if you're renting, because rent's not as much money. But when you think about it, that one that we just pulled out of was going to be $1,200 a month, and if you're not filling it, you know,
Your stuff.
that's a lot of money to be losing every single month.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, if you're looking to get into property, full stop, know what you're looking for. If you're going to buy for sourcer, that's fine.
What are the top 3 things you look for in a good rent to SA property?
A good rent to SA property, the top 3 things I'd look for is, number 1 is location. You know, you want it to be town centre, city centre, walking distance to public transport. The other thing is condition. You want to make sure the condition's like the top spec, because it's not going to be your property, so you don't want to be pumping money into it because it's not your asset.
Yeah.
So you want it to be a good standard top spec. And the last thing is you have to make sure it's you know, compliant and legal to do with that particular, especially apartments. You've got to make sure the head lease is fine, make sure the landlord's okay with it, and make sure their mortgage and stuff allows short lets. As long as you've got them free, the location and the condition of it, as long as they're on point, it will work.
I love that. Fantastic. So what's going to be the next big thing for you guys?
We've already got a few stuff in the line already that we're looking at. The next big thing, I think, what we're looking at buy, refurb, refinance and developments.
Yeah.
So at the minute, we've got the advantage of, because we're doing it as a family, we've got kind of someone's looking at this, someone's looking at that, and what we're doing is we're just putting out the bad ones, and I'm sure we're going to come to a good deal. I've got a feeling it's going to be a buy, refurb, refinance first.
Yeah.
And then from that, we're going to go into a development.
Love that.
We're just trying to, you know...
You're slowly going bigger and bigger and bigger.
Do you know what it is? It's using the tools in the toolbox that we've learned. You know, with rent to SAs we're doing, sourcing we're doing, buy, refurb, refinance we're going to do, developments we're going to do, and this is all the tools that we've acquired from, you know, being on the 12-month program.
What's the academy like?
So, it's like the best thing that we've ever done as a family, because you'd get stung if you didn't go on it. You have to know what you're doing. But the biggest thing for me personally, is it's the people as well.
Yeah.
Like the relationships I've got with all the people in the academy is just, it's crazy. Like I never ever thought I'd be in this position. And yeah, the knowledge you get, it's kind of, it's priceless. You can't put a price on it. It's so valuable.
Yeah.
You know, and it's always unexpected things as well. So when we started, we thought, you know, it's going to be a great 12 months. We're going to learn everything about property from Samuel and the team and stuff. Then at the trainer's just like, out of nowhere, you brought someone in, you know, as a guest, as a surprise. And it's like you say, you know, you under promise and over deliver all the time. It's like constantly though.
Yeah.
You know, it's brilliant. We love it.
I love that, man. Listen, I'm so proud of you. I'm going to quickly grab your mom and your sister to come and share a few words as well. But dude, keep doing what you're doing. Anytime, give me a shout. Respect.
Cool, man. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Kerry.
Yeah.
The star of the show.
I like to think so, yeah.
So what's your role within the family business?
So I do the numbers. So my background is I was the sensible child. Sorry, Rick. But I did well at school. I went to uni, did maths, got a master's degree in maths, and got into a good job, to be fair. You know, I earned quite a lot for my age. And to qualify at my job, I have to do exams.
Yeah.
And I have to do about 15 of them. And I got down to the final 2 exams, so I had 2 left. And I just got to a point where I just thought, this is it. Do you know what I mean? Once I've done these 2 exams, that's it. So I wanted to do something else, and property just seemed to make sense because it involves the numbers and stuff. And Dad's always had his background. He's always wanted to get into property. So I do the numbers basically
But
at the minute.
You do the numbers, but am I right in thinking that you were kind of the one, Kerry, who lit the fire in the whole family?
Yeah.
Because you wanted to get into property.
Yeah.
Why did you want to get into property? What was
Because,
it?
like I said, I got to that point in my job where I'd kind of made it to where I wanted to be at.
What were you doing?
So I'm a pensions actuary.
Okay. Very like numbersy.
Very numbersy, yeah. And I got to the point where I'd almost kind of done what I wanted to do and achieve what, and I just thought I need something else.
Yeah. Were you satisfied in your job?
I don't think so. I mean, one thing that I thought is, where do I want to be and who do I want to be in like 20 years time? And am I going to be that person doing what I'm doing right now?
Yes.
And I decided I wasn't going to be. So I wanted to free myself up so that I could do other things. And I think a key trigger for us, I don't think it's been mentioned yet, is Mum was actually ill a couple of years ago. She had heart surgery.
Right.
And I think a key thing that kind of triggered me in my head is we were all trying to take time off and kind of struggle to be there for Mum, which she's fine now, by the way. And I think I just thought, no, it's not right. I just want to be able to be there with her all the time. And I think we all thought that. And it was kind of that struggle between us, just to find some time for her, that kind of made me think, I don't want that for the rest of my life. I want some time and I want the freedom to do what I want to do.
It's powerful. I mean, and sometimes it takes seriously bad things to happen. You know, like a family member almost dying or something drastic before you actually wake up.
Yeah, you're sat there at work and mum's lying in hospital, and I'm just thinking, no, it's not what.
And then you realise actually life is short.
Yeah.
And the conventional plan for life, which is to have a job, work till you're 67, retire on 40% of what you couldn't afford to live on in the first place. Yeah. It just sucks.
Yeah.
So how's life different now?
Well, we're a lot closer as a family. I'm actually happier to work, so I'm still working full time. Yeah. But I think because I have this on the side as well, and I know where we're going, I actually feel happier to go to work. Yeah. Because it's more of an option. You know, if I went home, because we're kind of making passive income, if I went home and said, do you know what, I want to work part-time now, it would be okay. Yes. And because I have that option, I'm okay not to do that at the minute.
Really
I'm okay to, yeah, I think
I really agree with what you're saying. Like, when you're working from a position of abundance and from a position of choice, it's so much different from when you have to go, because then you're like almost like a slave. Yeah. Like, I work hard on my business. Yeah. You know, and I train people and I buy properties and I work hard, but because it's completely optional
on your own terms,
it feels great. Yeah. Because if I want to take a holiday for a month or two, I can. Yeah. So that's really interesting. Yeah. So in regards to numbers, then, how important is being able to work out things like the return on investment and crunch the numbers? How important is that in this business?
It's everything. So we look between the five of us, we find loads of deals every week. And I will kind of create a spreadsheet and I'll put in different options. You can put in all the different options, worst case scenarios. Yeah. And I'll just basically formulate it. So you can press a button, say we're going to buy a house and refurb it. You press a button, it tells you what is the highest possible offer you can put in to make X amount of money.
And you just created this spreadsheet?
Yeah.
How did you even know how to figure it all out?
Because I just work with spreadsheets every day in my job. So I just know that, you know.
It's scary though, how many people call themselves, and I say this at the Property Investors Crash Course, how many people call themselves property professionals or professional investors and they don't even know how to work out something as basic as the return on investment?
Yeah, it is really important, and I mean, I did use a starting point. Some of the academy spreadsheets actually that we got, well, I did use as a starting point. But then you made advanced versions. Yeah, of course.
Because what I like to do is, because it's funny, because sometimes people will say the property business is a people business, and then other people will say no, actually the property business is a numbers game, and I think it is everything.
It's
They're
everything,
all right. And that's why, you know, in my training, I'll start very basic. This is the basic ROI sheet that you need. This is your formulas. These are the basic people skills. Here's the scripts. But then some people will flourish in one area, and like yourself, you've made the spreadsheets now look like primary school spreadsheets, and you've made them really complicated, which is just awesome.
I think, the spreadsheets also, I think something you've said before is not to go with your feelings, to go with the formulas. And I think just having everything on a spreadsheet, like one of these guys, like Rick will say, oh, look at this deal. And it will be like a really nice house in a nice area, and we can do a refurb and make it even better. But once he sees it on a spreadsheet, it's the reality of the numbers. It kind of just emphasises that. So I think it is really important to get those.
Do you think that it's easy when you don't know the formulas and you don't have the spreadsheets to just buy totally based on your heart and feelings?
Yeah.
It is.
Definitely.
I see it happen all the time. People buy they fall in love with the property. Yeah. And if they had someone like you in their team, I'm sure you wouldn't let them buy something that they just loved, because it's got to be a numbers game. Okay, so what would you say your kind of vision for the future is then? What's your sort of plan? What are you most excited about right now?
I do want to stop work eventually, just so that I can have my time to myself.
When will that be?
Well, I've just taken my last exam, and that was kind of in my head, something that I just wanted to do, because it's what I've been working towards for the last 10 or so years. So I just wanted to get that done. I've just taken it, and I don't know if I've passed yet. Okay. I'll find out in July, and then if I have, then I guess not long after that.
So this year, you think it will be your year?
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay, and then what?
Yeah, and then Dad wanted to, well, we have the India trip, which we've already touched on, And I think more longer term, Dad wanted to go back to India. He put an idea out and kind of build schools there and stuff from where he was from, and that's something we've been there a couple of times, and that is something that I would definitely love to do, kind of in the longer term.
Yeah.
And the longer term, just like you do, you know, give back and help people change their lives. That's the long time.
You guys have got such big hearts. So what would be your number one piece of advice to someone who was wanting to follow in your footsteps as a property entrepreneur?
I think you can learn so much from putting yourself out there and meeting people, which is something that I was never as good at. Rick's obviously puts himself out there, and I've just seen from him how much he gets from people just from kind of putting himself out there and speaking out a little bit about what he's doing. And I think that is really important. You tell people what you want to do, and the right people will come to you and help you out. So I think that's a key
Brilliant.
thing.
You know what? There's a lot of people that are like secret property investors.
Yeah.
And they try and do it quietly, and then when they become financially free, they're like, ta-da!
Yeah.
But actually, I really agree with what you just said. You've got to speak it out and put it out there. And when you do that, when you say, look, guys, family, when you tell the world what you're about to do, people will just get out of your way.
Yeah.
Really love that.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Okay.
So you are the admin person and the mom of the family. So how's the journey been for you so far?
Yeah, fantastic. As has already been said, I've retired from work.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. So now I've got the time to be the foundation, I think.
Yeah.
You know, mums are the foundation of the family.
Absolutely.
Doing all the stuff, that's what I'm doing for the business. I'm doing all the background stuff.
You must be so, I know you're an inspiration to your family. Becoming financially free and quitting work, but you must be so proud of your kids.
Very.
They're just fantastic. You know, where do you think they get that fire from?
Their dad.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what's your role then within the family business, the property company?
Right. So I'm kind of the underpin. So I do all the filing. I find out what paperwork they need when they go out to something. I get all their emails and drag them into folders. So when they look at their phones, they're looking at a property, then go to the phones, go to a particular folder. All the information for that one property is in that folder.
Yes.
Apart from Ricky, the others go to work, so they're trying to do that alongside their work.
So you manage everybody, especially manage Ricky.
I'm trying to keep it simple for everybody.
It's so important to be organised.
I don't know, Rick's quite self-contained actually, to be fair, but he's got the time to be now. So.
Yeah. So what would you say your kind of strongest reason why is? Why are you doing this?
It's just so good to see the kids enjoying what they're doing, you know, and looking forward to the future. I can say that for all of us. I don't know, it's given us fire in our bellies again, I think.
What have you learned in this whole property process over the last 6 months?
Oh gosh, so much. You can do it as a family.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought in a million years as a family it would work. But we haven't had to sit down and say, right, what do you want to do? We've naturally fallen into our own roles.
And there's no weak link within your family. Like normally there'll be someone who's really passionate and a leader, and then there'll be people that are just dead wood. Whereas I find with the Mandal family, with you guys, you're also driven and you're also conscientious and hard working. You've got completely different skill set. How viable is it for a family to do? Are you just a really unique set of family members where it somehow works, or do you think that it is very viable to come together as a family?
Definitely. All families, every child is different. We all say that as parents, don't we?
Yeah.
Every child's different, and I think we all are different.
Yeah.
And I think that's true of all families. Everyone can find their own slot.
And how have you structured the company? Like, are you all directors, or how have you done that?
We started out, Raj and I were the directors.
Yeah.
And the kids are shareholders. And I think that's in the middle of a change now. I think we're all going to be directors, aren't we?
And you have like minutes to the board meetings?
We do. I do the agenda. I do the minutes of the last meeting and the agenda for the next one.
You've got to take it serious though.
Absolutely. It makes us all sit down around the table, not in armchairs with a cup of tea or anything.
Yeah.
We sit around the table, pretty much like this one. And that's what we do.
I'm so inspired, and it's very rare that that I have such, you know, I'm so inspired by a family business like this. What advice would you give to someone who was wanting to do this as a family business? What are the key things to look out for?
As everybody said, the training. The training's crucial, and if everybody can go to the training, we are one missing. Ash's been to one of the crash courses, and that really inspired her. So she knows where we're coming from. But the training, we can all follow what you've said, and the times that we've said, Samuel was right. He was dead right.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we've veered. I can think of an odd thing or two where we've veered and thought, no. Thank God we didn't do that.
Yeah.
Thank God
the thing
we
is, it's like a
followed.
roadmap, isn't it? When you have good training, it's almost like you have got a guide. So that
Yes.
rather than you all having your own ideas about this and that and the other, it's like, well, this is
Yeah.
the roadmap. This is where we're going.
Yeah, and of course there's Facebook.
Yes.
We can go on there.
Yeah.
You know, the times that I've spoken to Rick, because I keep forgetting about it, and he says, go on the Academy Facebook. It'll be on there. I remember seeing somebody asking about it, and somebody had replied. Sometimes it's you yourself replied, and it's all there.
It is.
And it is.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm so impressed, and I'm so pleased to know you guys as friends. So massive congrats. What's next then? What's the
Thank
big thing
you.
for you this year? What are you most excited about?
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm excited for whatever comes along. Either I've got in my heart, I feel it might be one of the refurbs, but there's a nice piece of land we've seen as well. I don't know all of it, Samuel. All of it.
Well, any help you need, give me a shout anytime.
Thank you.
Congrats on your success so far.
Thank you.
Awesome. People ask me why I run the Property Investors Academy and do the crash courses, and one of the reasons is because I really like making friends, and I think this has really been a testimony to that for fabulous family members. I hope you've been inspired by that. If you're wanting to go into property, then don't forget, get the training, come on down to the Property Investors Crash Course and bring your families, because there's nothing more rewarding and fruitful and fun than building a business with your family and becoming financially free together. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.